YouTube in the house. Hello, my name is Ricardo Rodriguez. Welcome to my channel, Too Great. Welcome to my series, Financial Education University. Now, if you're typing in the YouTube engine, what is a credit score? How does a credit score affect you? You're in the right place because in this video, we're going to cover that. And if you're interested in topics like building that financial education, becoming a financially literate individual, or building wealth for yourself, this is the channel for you. I highly recommend you consider subscribing. We're constantly uploading videos similar to these topics and that could really benefit you as an individual to grow. Now let's dive into what you guys came in for. What is credit score? What is that, right? And I created a visual. Everyone loves a visual. It's basically a score of how well you are to pay something off when you borrow money. On our low end, we have 300. You do not want to be on the low end. On the high end, we have an 850. This is the ideal goal, the perfect score. This is what you should be aiming for. 300, all that means is you're borrowing money, let's say for a car, $20,000, for a home, $300,000. You borrow that money from a bank, from a loaner, from anyone with money, and you are not able to pay it off in full or meet your monthly payments, let's say 200 a month, 300 a month. You were unable to fulfill those payments, showing that you're untrustworthy basically to borrow a substantial amount of money and you're not able to pay it off. You do not want to be this person. It's not cool, borrowing money from people, and now you're just putting yourself in debt, putting yourself into problems. Now they're, hassling you. They're trying to take your home away, your car away, or any valuable that you own. They're looking to take it away. You do not want to put yourself in this position. However, if you reach this 850, even if you're around here, the spectrum of 600, 700, 800, you should be solid, but 850 is the ultimate goal. This basically means you could borrow a substantial amount of money, whether that's a couple thousand, 100,000, a million, and you're able to pay it off within a reasonable amount of time. Let's say I took out a $500,000 loan for my business and I was able to pay it off within the next 3 years. That with the low interest rate, and we'll go over that, in a little bit. But basically that means is, you're more trustworthy to pay that amount off. That's basically all it is. Now, what determines a credit score? These are, there's a number of factors, but I want to go over the main two ones. Basically, payment history. Everyone signs up for a credit card. Everyone signs up for just, subscriptions maybe, or just bills basically. And payment history is how well can you pay these dues off basically, whether that's the past couple months over the span of a couple years. How well are you to meet your payments within this 30-day period? Sometimes it's 28-day period. All they're trying to measure is, though, are you on time and are you paying in these payments in full? So if I owe $300,000 a month, am I fulfilling that $300 a month, for the next couple months, for the next couple years? And that payment history, loaners really look at that. Oh, he's a trustworthy person. She's a trustworthy person. We're going to borrow them X amount of dollars. We're in the good. Another one would be just the amount you're borrowing. Can you borrow a reasonable amount of money and pay it off within, a reasonable time span? So are you able to borrow $10,000, let's say, for a student loan? Not everyone, but most people, take a student loan to go to university, community college. Let's say they owe $10,000. Are they, in the eyes of the bank or the loaner, that's a reasonable amount of money of student debt. Now, are they able to pay this amount off within the next 4 or 5 years or 10 years, But that's basically what the two main key factors that I see that really play a pivotal role in determining your credit score. There's also factors like the amount of credit that you have, whether that's like 3 credit cards, how long you had credit cards for, whether that's 3-4 years, just examples. They don't affect it as much, but there's still factors that you should take into consideration. But I just went over the two main ones that you guys should be looking out for. Now, understanding loans. Sometimes us as consumers, us as individuals in today's economy, we don't have the money in full to make these purchases, whether that's, homes, that brand new car, or maybe even starting up your own business that you hope to be successful in one day, right? And sometimes we can't come up with $10,000, out of our pocket $50,000, and some people, take out loans for 100,000 and way up there, and we're put in this position where now we have to borrow this money, and now we have to evaluate our options. How do we know when a loan is good for us? Number one off the bat would be, take into consideration the amount you're trying to borrow, whether that's $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Make sure it's a reasonable amount, and really ask yourself, am I able to pay this amount off within, X amount of days, X amount of months, years, whatever? Because this is a very crucial financial decision that you do not want to, look back on and say, wow, I really made a big mistake, or you really made a big mistake making that decision, borrowing X amount of dollars, because not only are you putting yourself in debt, you're jeopardizing your credit score, you're putting yourself into problems with the loaner, and you just creating a lot of stress for yourself. You do not want to put yourself in that position. So just really make sure the principal amount you're borrowing is something reasonable, something that in the back of your head, like, I can really pay this off. Make sure you have a plan set. I'm about to raise X amount of dollars with this income. I'm going to save this amount on the other side. And if you're learning how to budget, check out the other videos we went over this using the bucket system. I highly recommend, you go into the second video within this series, go tune into Smart Money Tricks. We go over that if that's something you will be interested into watching. But yeah, just really pay attention to the amount you're borrowing. The next step will be just really look at the interest rate. And to me, what's so shocking is not a lot of people know what APR stands for. I believe 50% of Americans don't even know what, that abbreviation stands for. And it's annual percentage rate. I'll say it again, annual percentage rate. That's basically the percentage that you owe on top of your principal amount that you borrowed, and you're gonna pay a percentage of that throughout the year, right? Sometimes we could get, if we have a great credit score, we're towards that 850 range, these interest rates will be lower. So instead of paying 20%, I might pay 5%, which is not too bad in the eyes of other people. If I'm borrowing 20,000, 5% on 20,000, and you will put that, let's 2,500, let's just say, around that. That's what I'm going to be paying off, compared to someone who owes a high interest rate. Let's say 20% of 20,000. They're paying like, an extra 3,000 on top. Like, you do not want to put yourself in that position. That's why having that credit score is so crucial, and helping you save a little bit more money, right? You'd rather pay that extra 300 rather than that extra 3,000. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, you also have to know it. You have to keep in the back of your head, how long are you going to be able to keep this loan for? Whether that, some people have short-term loans, whether that's a couple months. Others people have it, a year or two. And then there's others who have it for like a decade, 10 plus years. And you really have to evaluate, what is a reasonable time that I could pay this off? Really have that action plan, in concrete, because you do not want to make any slip-ups. You want to make sure this money is secure. You could constantly rely on this income or sources of income to help you pay this loan off, right? You do not want to put yourself in a position where I can't pay this loan off, or you can't pay this loan off, and now it's going to affect your credit score for it to go down. You do not want to put yourself in that position. Now, how are you affected? Basically, maintaining this credit score, it's tough in the beginning, but it's very well worth it. They don't want to teach you this in school, because as an economy, they want to suck out every dollar they can out of you as a consumer. They want to make the banks richer. They want to make the loaners richer. Keep the poor within, this status. Keep the middle class within this status. They do not want to see you grow. And one way they could do that is with high interest rates. If you can't prove to them that you could pay this money off, you're going to be stuck paying high interest rates on big loans. And you do not want to put yourself in that position. So basically, by starting off young, learning how to take care of yourself with the credit card, pay little by little, whether that's $50 you owe a month, $100, a couple hundred, nothing too crazy, but as long as you're making small payments, at a young and early age, let's say starting at 16, 18, 21, around that ballpark, you're setting yourself up, in the future as a future consumer, and that's gonna one day purchase a home, one day purchase a car, and with the lower interest rate, you're gonna be paying less. You're proving to the loaner that you're trustworthy. It all works out for you in the end. This is how you're affected. You know, really think about the future. This is a long-term goal. This is not an overnight thing. Oh, I just made one payment and I'm good. No, this is something that's calculated over time. So the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be better off. Now that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed that. You know, sometimes it's not the most interesting content, but like I said, this is financial education. We're really trying to get you guys set in stone, and this is one of the most, you know, prioritized goals that you should have in the back of your head. In order for you to be successful, let's say an opportunity presents itself, how are you able to raise capital for that investment? You know, you need a X amount of dollars, right? And sometimes we do not have that at the disposal. So sometimes a loan is that option. And you know, we got to take advantage of the opportunity, right? So if you got to make meets and do what you got to do. But if you take the loan route and you can have a low interest rate, you know, that really helps rather than the high interest rate. And I just want to let you know, I have an opportunity, no credit score needed, you know, 850 or 300. Just take an investment on yourself, trying to make a second stream of income for yourself through the YouTube platform, all right? If you click the link below, I have my YouTube Freedom Blueprint. Absolutely free. All you gotta do is click the link below, enter your email address. It's that simple. That's all I gotta say, is that simple. But I really hope you guys enjoy the content. Give it a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Comment what you guys think below. Share this to, you know, someone who doesn't know what a credit score is, or what can really help them boost their credit score up, you know, so they could be on the right track to becoming financially literate. I hope you guys have a great one. Take care.